Hey guys, welcome to First Impressions here on Nerderay. I am your host Ben, and today's featured game is Dishonored. Now if you didn't know already, Dishonored is a first-person stealth action game for the PS3, Xbox and the PC. Before we go any further, I'm just going to let you know what First Impressions actually entails. I play a game for a couple of hours and give you my first-hand experience back in an easy-to-digest format. Straight away, I'd just like to announce that Dishonored has very sexy scenery, something you're allowed to gabble at very early on, a cheeky little boat ride. This sort of beauty continues throughout. The tasteful setting is not only unique, but applies a perfect balance between Victorian goth stylings and Tesla tech. So even if you're obsessed with brassy bronze steam dreams, the variety of poverty, industrialism and well decked out pads creates an interesting environment to say the least. So according to every man and his dog, Dishonored supplies you with essentially 3 different playstyles. There's the ultra good guy Greg style, sneaking past people or just casually choking them. The sneaky stabby stabber who sneaks but still stabs. Or walking to the toilet at 4 in the morning and standing on every bloody creaky floorboard, aka the guy who goes around with a sword murdering everyone. I personally don't like super stealthy, it's a little bit too passive for me, not to mention my stealth abilities are quite terrible. After just a few beers I managed to stumble into the women's toilets and got myself stuck in a cubicle, and bashing the lock was my strategical approach to leaving without causing myself any attention. This was on Dishonored, of course. My playthrough has been a mixture of botched stealth, stabbing and bad sword fights. In all honesty, I did struggle with the combat system, especially during the sword fights. Quite early on in the mission I was down to about 5 HP and a single hit would instantly kill me, thus making any mistake, fall or choke fail instantly kill me. I didn't dare go looking for potions or food in case of more combat. My playthrough was suddenly turned into a frustrating die and start again sequence. Though I do understand this was down to me being awful at the game and not the game itself. While I agree there's a few different playstyles within Dishonored, unless you're being super creative with your abilities, which is difficult in the early stages of the game, stabbing someone in the neck is kind of bland, just as covering someone's mouth and nose to choke them out. Similar to the way you deal with your pesky little brothers and sisters, but obviously you don't let them pass out. Well, not always. Personally, I think Dishonored shines through its open level design, exploration and the multiple options you have to complete tasks. Depending on your spell choices, upgrades and weapons, paths will either benefit you or make things a tad harder, but the great thing is nothing is impossible. With a creative and strategical approach, which I've lacked, levels can be thought out with your personal customizations in mind. There isn't a forced approach or route you should take, you almost feel as if you're in a completely open world and could walk off at any point. But the multitude of rooms, items, potions and little books and scraps of story will keep your attention from wandering off. So far the story felt loose and I didn't really have an emotional response to any sort of character, but it's early days in my playthrough. As much as I love Dishonored's super fast loading screens, they seem to pop up very often. The heavy text-based screens broke immersion for me. I did find this to be a problem when I was really trying to concentrate on beating a level and then suddenly a load of text and a random screen would pop up. This game does favour being more stealthy and expect run and gun to be very difficult in settings above normal. I wouldn't recommend Dishonored as a casual game. I attempted to play while tired with a lack of caffeine and I failed miserably on normal. Enjoy Dishonored while alert with your gaming head on. It needs concentration and brain power. Also, don't be afraid to push the game's boundaries. Arcane have catered to several types of strategy, so try to be as creative as possible with your playthrough. No doubtably Dishonored is a strong game. The unique setting in combination with first-person stealth creates an experience you won't forget in a hurry. You've been watching First Impressions on Dishonored. Before you head off, please check out www.nerderay.com for your chance to win a Nexus 7 tablet. All the relevant links will be in the description. I've been your host Ben, I'll see you later guys.